What's going on, guys? Danny here from Metal Couch, and today we are going to be talking about vinyl records. It's been a very long time since I've done any form of vinyl update, and looking at the pile that's off camera here, it has definitely grown exponentially since the last time we talked about vinyl records on this channel. The last time we talked about it was around Christmas time, and I bought myself some Christmas vinyls. Now, this first one is one I have mentioned that I was going to purchase, and I did purchase it around there. It's just for some reason I didn't include it in the Christmas video because I guess it just wasn't relevant. And that was Megadeth's Peace Sells, But Who's Buying on vinyl. Now, this is the '08 vinyl release, so I know some of you out there are being like, how can you do that? How can you do that? The main factor is that it's affordable, and to me, it sounds good. I still want to pick up Rust in Peace, and I've been heavily debating as to whether or not to get So Far, So Good, So What, because that album is kind of iffy to me. It's one that I just kind of like, there are some tracks on here I like, but I don't know if it's really worth getting on vinyl. But this to me is my favorite Megadeth album. I mean, you got tracks on here like The Conjuring, Devil's Island, Bad Omen, My Last Words. Like, this is a really good album. And it's definitely like the high point for Megadeth, in my own personal opinion. We'll set that over there. The next one, I have a small story about this one. This is Angel Witch's As Above, So Below. I had ordered this from an eBay seller. I can't remember what his name is because that's how long it's been. And it's just, I was expecting a standard black vinyl, not the super rare limited edition of this album, which is like a blood red vinyl, which, if I can just kind of, like that. I was not expecting that at all when I opened it up, and to my surprise, I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And then I really like the inside of this jacket. Unfortunately, the glare is not cooperating with me today. If I just kind of like do it to the side, I'm gonna show you that. It's really cool inside. 2 songs per side. I think this is at a 45 RPM or something like that. So, really good feeling jacket. This is a good album. I reviewed this album during the early days of Metal Couch. This was probably like, if this came out in 2000, I think this came out in like 2011. So, that's definitely like well within the first year of Metal Couch being a thing. It's hard to believe that I've been doing this kind of stuff for almost 6 years now. I think like the 6-year anniversary will be in September. In fact, I believe it's on Dave Mustaine's birthday because the first thing I reviewed was the Rust in Peace live Blu-ray, which came out on his birthday. So that's how I kind of remember that I need to be like, maybe I should do an anniversary thing. Fucking do it. Next one's the soundtrack. This is probably going to be one of those things where it's like, why did you buy this with the intent of listening to it on a record player? And that's the Terminator soundtrack by Brad Fiedel. And they recently went back to the old MGM archives and I guess you couldn't say, not necessarily remaster, but reworked the soundtrack, because apparently the backstory behind this is that during all the home releases of the Terminator, of the soundtrack, Brad Fiedel had no say in how the soundtrack was produced or even how it was laid out. There are music cues in here that are just not present on any other version of the soundtrack. Like one of my favorite tracks from the soundtrack is on here. It is called Restreams of Future War. It used to be called Gun Shop Reese in Alley on previous soundtracks, which is just like, this is not, this is improperly labeled, and it even sounds different, like just the, what's going on in the track, it's produced differently, some of the effects are on the back burner, some of them are brought to the forefront. It's just an all new working, not to mention when you open it up, you have this awesome artwork of the Terminator, and this is a special edition purple splatter, I think. Yeah. That's a purple splatter, and it is sold. I believe the purple splatter is sold out. It is gone. It no longer exists anymore. You got that back cover with the Terminator hand and the skull. So 4 sides on here, including a extended theme of the Terminator theme, an actual final suite for the film. I like film soundtracks a lot. I know a lot of people don't normally care too much to collect those, but I'm a big fan of 80s synth scores, like the Terminator, like some stuff that you would find in John Carpenter movies, for example. Like, I think the Assault on Precinct 13 soundtrack is kind of amazing. Like, just look up either the main title theme for that, or I think it's like called The Windows with an exclamation mark. And just listen to that and you'll kind of get an idea of what I really like from my synth soundtracks. Next one is a soundtrack as well. A very controversial film this year, critics and fan-wise. It's the soundtrack to Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Now, this is not a limited edition or anything like that, but this is definitely a unique release for me because when you open this up, it's 3 records, and it's a trifold case, as you can see here. And you just got the DC Trinity inside. You got the worst part of the movie over here on this jacket. And then you go on the back and you have your track listing here. So, and these include all the bonus tracks that you could find on the digital releases or the deluxe edition CD releases. This is probably so far my favorite soundtrack of the year because it's done by both Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. Junkie XL being the man behind Mad Max Fury Road soundtrack, which I thought was amazing. Still sitting over there looking at me right now because I pulled all these records off my shelf. This is an interesting soundtrack to me because Hans Zimmer did all the Superman stuff while Junkie XL did all of the Batman stuff. And then they just clash together and it works. Like, if you listen to Black and Blue, Is She With You? Do You Bleed? Do You Bleed is definitely a good one. Beautiful Lie, Their War Here. I really like the percussion on Their War Here. The drums on that are amazing. Very reminiscent of Man of Steel soundtrack, considering that it technically takes place during the events of Man of Steel when that track's going on. This on my shelf just further reminds me that I should probably pick up the soundtrack to Man of Steel on vinyl because even though Man of Steel's not really that good of a movie, I enjoyed its soundtrack a lot. Like, what's a good track from that? If You Love These People, that's a good one. So, the only thing I don't like about this, and this is merely because it's not about the release at all, it's just the content within. Like, I hate all the Lex Luthor themes. I don't really think that they're that good. But then again, there's nothing good about Lex Luthor in this movie. And if you haven't seen the Ultimate Edition, I highly recommend you do because it's way better than the theatrical cut. I left the theater in March being like, wow, this was a fucking train wreck. And then I saw the Ultimate Edition recently. I'm like, oh, this is a 7 out of 10 now. So, take that as a grain of salt. As somebody who really likes DC Comics and Batman, like, I was really disappointed with that movie when it came out. But moving on. I've already reviewed this on the channel, but I felt like it wouldn't be fair if I didn't mention it. And that's Death's Scream Bloody Gore, the Relapse Records reissue that just came out. This is the limited picture disc, which I also believe is now sold out. I've already shown it in a review. There's not really much to say here other than I love this album, and it came out just in time, with Doom. So I was putting this on my record player and playing Doom at the same time, and it was a great experience. Feel free to look at my channel and look at the review if you're interested. I talk a little bit more about the picture disc, and you can also look at the comment section and look at people whine about how Relapse Records is the worst, to which I'm like, I don't know about that. I'm sure there are much worse distros out there. This is a big one. This is a really big one that I had been looking for a while, at least waiting for the price to go within a realm of reason, and that's Judas Priest's Painkiller. This, if you listen to heavy metal, is a must-own album, pure and simple. It is the quintessential metal album, in my opinion. Like, when I think of albums that are within the realm of heavy metal, I think of Painkiller. There's not really much to say about this album. I've already reviewed it. I reviewed it years ago. Other than it was really strange when I got this in the mail because I had the 2 records that are supposed to go into the jacket, but then I had an extra one for sides A and B, so I don't really know why I have them. I listened to it and it's just a duplicate of side A and B, so I guess I just have 2 of the same? I don't know. And this is like a really good quality jacket here. This is done by Back on Black, which is a UK vinyl distributor. They take older albums like this and reissue them. These also have the CD bonus tracks from the remaster, Living Bad Dreams and Leather Rebel Live. So you have those there. I mean, All Guns Blazing, Hell Patrol, Between the Hammer and the Anvil, the title track, Leather Rebel, Metal Meltdown, Nightcrawler, like One Shot at Glory. This album is just amazing from start to finish. If you haven't listened to this album, what are you waiting for? You dingus? What are you doing? Excuse me, allergies. I've also talked about this one. I won't spend too much time on it, but Metallica's Ride the Lightning. This has been getting a little bit more rotation lately because it's a good album. I have a review of this up on my channel along with all the deluxe edition bonus material. So, set that off to the side. This is one that I had mentioned was on my shelf, but I never showed it. And that was Diocletian's Cassandrian on a transparent vinyl. This is an album that I had reviewed and stuck with me long enough to the point where it's like, I should probably pick this up. And then when Diocletian broke up, I kind of felt like, well, if I don't pick this stuff up now, it's probably going to get harder and harder to find it, and it definitely has. Like, I still want to get a shirt from them, and now the shirt prices are, like, way too high. Like, that's how insane it is. This is a nice, let me see if I can get a good purchase on that. There you go. It's a nice transparent vinyl, a little bit of a silver color. This is a really good album. Really good on the inside of the jacket. You know, you got their symbol here. Track listing, stuff like Steel Jaws. Beast Atop the Trapezoid is an amazing song. It's one of my favorites from the album. And then we get to another release from Back on Black. And that's Megadeth's Killing Is My Business, and Business Is Good. If you follow me on Instagram or the Metal Couch Facebook page, you know that I probably put up a post maybe about a month ago saying I need to talk about vinyl again while holding this particular thing. So, again, it's the same quality as the Painkiller vinyl in terms of the jacket. Really well done. All this cool stuff on the inside are just photos back in the day from Megadeth. The only thing that disappoints me about this, and I completely understand why it's not on here, is that this edition does not include their cover of These Boots Are Made for Walking. And that's because of there's like a lawsuit or something like that was going on, and Mustaine just decided, you know what, I'm not going to deal with this. Any future pressings of this album just won't have it on there. Now, granted, a lot of songs on here are really, really silly, but I actually like the instrumentation of These Boots. So I was a little disappointed to not see it on here, but at the same time I should have known what I was getting myself into. This is also a limited edition color. It's a nice kind of blue-yellow splatter, which is nice. Great sound quality on it. Like the people at Back on Black do a very good job on these records, so I'm impressed. If I ever see something that I want or that I need on vinyl that they have, I will definitely pick these up. And just a great quality jacket too. Like, it feels heavy in your hand, feels thick, and just good printing on there. So that's it for my vinyl updates. I actually have another vinyl coming in while I'm on vacation next week, so I'm not going to be able to get around to reviewing that till maybe like August 10th at the earliest. So even though I think it comes out on the 4th, because that's just how long I'm out of town. And I'm really looking forward to looking at that, because it'll be the end of a review arc for me that's been going on forever, because they just haven't been re-releasing them fast enough. So I can't wait for that one. I managed to get a super limited edition of that one as well. So, yeah. That's my updated vinyl collection. I'm actually missing one. I'm going to get up and get it, because I don't know why I pulled it off, and I'm trying to end the video. Where did it go? Where is it? I have no idea where it is. This is the worst. The absolute worst. I can't believe I'm not going to edit this out because banter. Okay, so yeah, there is one more. Van Halen 1. Van Halen 1's a good album. I like Van Halen a lot. I wish I had more Van Halen albums on vinyl, but these are expensive. And I know what you're saying. You're just being like, well, they're only expensive if you buy these 2016 vinyl re-releases. And I'm like, but the remasters are actually good. So 180 gram vinyl remasters of Van Halen albums, I'm like, yeah, they're really good. I want them. They're at least $20 a pop. Van Halen 2, like I want Van Halen 2. I want Women and Children First. I want 1984. Could really care less about Diver Down, but yeah. Van Halen 1's one of those albums where it's like top 10 albums of all time for me, and that's it. So now I'm definitely going to end this video, because holy crap, we've been sitting here for quite a while. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Danny here from Metal Couch, signing out.